All right, let's talk about the JLPT. This is for you, the one who's thinking N2 is scary or N1 seems impossible. The one who wants to take it but just can't click that apply button. Yeah, I'm talking directly to you.
First things first, let me get one thing straight. Being scared? That's completely normal. In fact, the people who are scared are the ones who are actually stronger. That fear is proof. It's proof that you're taking this seriously, that you understand exactly what's at stake. And that fear, well, that's fuel.
Here's the entire conclusion for today, right up front. Applying for the test is not taking the test. It's hitting the Start Strategy button. That's it. Today, I'm going to break down the psychology of this so you can turn it into a weapon. Let's begin.
So, first question, and I want you to be honest with yourself here. Do you want the N2 or N1? You've got three choices. A, yes, I want it. B, nope, I don't need it at all. Or C, it would be nice to have.
Look, if your answer is B, you don't need to take it. I mean it. If you don't need it, don't waste your time. It's finite. But if you answered A or C, well, they're not as different as you think. Both I want it and it would be nice mean you see value in it. And here's the problem. Being in a state where you believe something has value but you don't act on it, that is what drains your mental energy the most. Why? Because wanting something and not moving towards it creates a massive contradiction right in your mind.
In psychology, we have a name for this. It's called cognitive dissonance. And when you live with that kind of contradiction, it causes this constant, low-level draining stress. It's a totally natural human reaction, but it's the very thing that's holding you paralyzed.
Now, let's just look at the cold, hard math for a second. If you don't apply, what's your probability of passing? It's 0%. If you do apply, it's greater than 0. Your talent, your effort, none of that matters at this stage. This is just simple arithmetic. A person with a 0% chance will never pass. It's a certainty. But the person who applies, well, at least they have a shot.
Now, I know what some of you are saying, but I can't apply because I'm not confident. I hear you. But confident or not, if you don't click that button, your chance is still 0. So you have to completely reframe what applying actually means. Applying isn't some final scary commitment. It's just buying a ticket for a future choice.
This is a critical point, so let's make it simple. Think of it like deciding to see a movie. If you don't buy a ticket in advance, on the day of the show, how many choices do you have? 0. But if you buy that ticket, on show day, you suddenly have 2 choices. You can either go or don't go. See? Applying for the test is exactly the same. It's not a promise that you'll go, it's an action to secure your options.
That little escape route, that thought of, I can just back out on test day if I want to, that is a luxury. And it's a luxury that's only available to the people who applied. The person who didn't apply doesn't even have an escape route. So here's the irony. I'm telling you to apply in order to create an escape route. Secure your evacuation plan before the battle even starts. Okay, so you've secured your options. Now let's get devious. Let's weaponize your own psychology to force yourself to act. We're going to use something called the sunk cost effect. This is that little voice in your head that hates wasting something you've already paid for. See, humans are not rational creatures, and you can use that irrationality to your own advantage. I mean, think about it. You pay those gym fees, suddenly you feel like you have to go. You buy those expensive textbooks, you feel guilty if you don't study them. You buy a concert ticket, you're going to go to the event. It's the same exact principle. You pay that exam fee, and your brain is now psychologically primed to study for that exam. The simple fact that I paid money dramatically increases the probability that you'll take action. Applying, therefore, is a psychologically rational move.
Now let's tackle the real heart of your problem. This one line. I want to apply once I feel like I can pass. Really? Let me be perfectly clear. It is almost impossible to feel like you're going to pass at the moment you apply. I don't feel that way. Nobody does. You only get that I can do this feeling after your learning is complete. But the application deadline, that comes way before that feeling ever shows up. And this is where people say, oh, I'll take it once I'm ready. But listen to me. That's a terrible strategy for 2 reasons. First, what does complete or ready even mean? Does it mean knowing every single word? Perfecting every grammar point? Getting 0 questions wrong in the reading section? Are you some kind of god? Nailing 100% on the listening? Are you a hermit sage living on a mountain? When is that perfect state ever going to arrive? I'll tell you when. Probably never. And the second reason waiting is a bad idea is this. Memory is like ice. Learning something new is like making the ice. But maintaining that memory, that's like keeping the ice from melting. And trust me, keeping it frozen is way harder and more costly than making it in the first place.
Let me put it in an equation for you. Your total study time equals your initial learning time plus your review time. And the longer you drag out this process, the more you have to review, the more maintenance you have to do, and the higher your total cost becomes. In other words, waiting until you feel complete doesn't make things easier. It actually extends the period of suffering.
And let me add one more thing. N1 is not some casual destination for people who decide, oh, I'll go once I feel ready. No, it's a battlefield. It's a place for warriors who charge in, full of anxiety, timing their attack to peak right at the deadline. Let's talk about what's going on in your head. What if I fail? What if my mind goes blank? What if I forget everything I studied? All of those things have not happened. Psychologists call this anticipatory anxiety, or catastrophizing. It's just a worst-case scenario movie that you're playing on a loop in your head. But guess what? The release date for that movie hasn't even been set. You can worry about it when it actually comes out. What you can do today is apply and strategize.
Now, for the part that should really light a fire under you. I said being scared is normal, but it also means you're serious. And here's the secret. Energy doesn't have a positive or a negative sign. Energy is an absolute value. Think of it like mod E. Whether it's positive energy or negative energy, a person with a large amount of it can move.
The more scared you are, the greater your energy. You only have one problem. Which direction is that energy pointed? What's its vector? Are you going to direct that massive force toward running away? Or are you going to redirect it, aim it, and fire it straight at your studies? It is fine to be scared out of your mind. That fear will become your greatest weapon.
You see people around you applying. You see them taking the test. You see them passing. And meanwhile, you haven't even applied. At that moment, you're shaken. But you can't control what other people do. So you must take the one action that makes you unshakable, no matter how anyone else moves. And what is that action? It's applying. By applying, you get to stand in the arena. Winning or losing comes later. First, you have to get in the arena.
Okay, let's get practical. Studying isn't about volume. It's about strategy. It's not about saying, I've studied for 2 hours today. It's about asking, where am I weak? What actions connect directly to earning points? Which sections will I review and how many times will I do it? Time spent worrying has a 0% return on investment. Thinking, I might not be able to do this for 10 minutes will not increase your score by a single point. But studying vocabulary for 10 minutes, that has the potential to move the needle.
This is your new mantra. Say it with me. Don't worry, strategize, execute.
You know, this test, it's not just a piece of paper. When you pass it, it gives you a future. Your entire world changes. The way people see you changes. Your opportunities change. And that kind of change can only happen with the JLPT. There is no substitute. And if that's the case, you don't really have a choice but to do it, right? In fact, there's nothing but wanting to do it. It's scary. I get it. But you know what? The you that wants to take on this challenge is cool.
Apply. And then strategize.